Hello Facebook friends, my name is Agundez. I'm going to be talking about a few things on the saxophone. First of all, the brand I'm using, the mouthpiece, ligature, reed, and also I'm going to be talking about sound. Okay, first of all, the brand I'm using doesn't exist anymore in the market. It's called Lucian. Okay, it used to be an imitation of a Selmer Mark VI, and I love the way the horn sounds. Sounds great, has a big sound. Okay, and the type of mouthpiece I'm using, it's a metal mouthpiece. It's a Dukov A7. It works for me perfectly. The same ligature I'm using is the one that comes with the mouthpiece. And also the reed that I'm using is a Van Doren 2.5, just a regular Van Doren. Personally, as you notice or as you see, an A7 means that the mouthpiece is pretty much open. You know, I like to have it open so I can have a bigger sound, the low register, the high register. And also, let's talk about sound. Personally, a few of the things I would like to suggest. When you're playing the saxophone, okay, try to play or try to find your comfort zone that we call. Okay, you can't you can't press too much on the reed. You can't add too much pressure on the reed, and you can't play too relaxed. Okay, the sound's not that big when it's too tight, or when it's too, and when there's no pressure, well, it sounds like that. It sounds like a vuvuzela instead of a saxophone. So, what you want to do is, or what you want to keep in mind is that the more the reed vibrates, the bigger your sound. So, of course, you got to make sure we're in tune, and we also need to find that comfort zone. Okay, so not too much pressure, and not too loose either. Okay, make sure it's not too loose. Okay, it's supposed to sound like this. Okay, so few things. Also, a bottom lip. People have been asking me about the bottom lip. Okay, a few things we need to keep in mind, or I'm gonna try to answer this. We all have different shapes of lips. Some, have smaller lips. Some people have bigger lips. So, a few things is that you want to make sure it gets to the part where the lip turns red. Okay, that open. You don't want to have it all in, or else you're not going to be able to adjust your intonation. So it needs to be to a point that, it's maybe on the red part of the lip, like this. Okay. Also, what you want to keep in mind is that your okay, your throat. You need to have your throat, let's say like if you were speaking in a low voice, okay, needs to be open so that the air can go through. Okay, that's what you want. You want air to go through. You don't want anything, you know, anything avoiding that. Okay? And if you don't have that, you know, you might have problems, or let's say, you know, you might not have enough air. Of course, it all has to do with diaphragm as well, but I want to keep that in mind, keeping the low voice. Okay? And the lower lip should be, you know, once the reed joins the mouthpiece together, okay, that's where you want to keep your lower lip. Okay, that's where I have it. Okay, you want to play through the reed. Okay, you want to make sure the opening, you know, is big, because if you close it, what's going to happen is that your horn is going to squeak. Okay, so we don't want to have that, and just keep those things in mind. Also, I heard people that, you know, say that when you're playing on the lower register, drop your jaw, or when you're playing on a higher, an altissimo register, to add more pressure, you know, tighten your jaw. Personally, I would suggest to spend a lot of time working on long tones. Okay, so you can adjust that, because you don't need to be changing it back and forth. Okay, you just need to go over each note. Okay, so as you notice, I didn't add that much pressure when I went up in the high register, and I didn't drop my jaw. You know, you just change it, you know, slightly, not so much, because you don't want to have that problem. Okay, remember, if you're up there, if you're up in the high register and you add pressure, too much pressure, what's going to happen is that you're going to squeak. You want to avoid that at all costs. You don't want to squeak. Okay, and also just practice. It's just a matter of practicing. You know, I personally take 5 to 10 minutes on long tones, and then I practice my scales too. So because scales is pretty much the vocabulary, the language of our music. If we don't know our scales, then we can't speak properly. The same way we don't know our ABCs, you know, we're not going to be able to speak if we don't know our scales. Okay, that is all for today. Leave a comment if you wish, and thank you. I wish I was able to help. You have a good one.